Hi guys, this is Holiday Inflatable Fanatic, and in front of me I have none other than the Art the Clown animatronic sold from Spirit Halloween. This guy is really awesome. As soon as I saw him, and especially for his price point, I knew I had to have him. He is just so cool. Ever since I seen the Terrifier film, I absolutely just fell in love with the character itself. The gore in the movie can be quite intense at times, but the character itself is just so creepy. The design of just Art's face, his eyes, his creepy grin, it's just so cool. So as soon as I knew that both Spirit and Party City was producing an Art the Clown animatronic, I knew I had to pick up one of them. So yeah, so as you guys can see, I did pick up the Spirit Halloween version. This is the version I prefer, and it simply comes down to the face. The face design on this one is just so much better. I mean, it's tenfold better than the Party Cities one. I mean, it's just laughable the way that one looks, how the eyes are crossed, the mouth just looks horrible, and his face is just, the actual shape of his face is just way too slender. But that being said, Spirit's version is also not perfect, but it's definitely much better. But before I blabber off way too long, let me do step pad and just go over some of the basics. He was sold for $199.99 this year, $200, which is a great price. So with the 20 off coupon, it comes down to $160. I personally paid $140 for him with my employee discount, which is a phenomenal price for a licensed character that's, 6.5 feet tall. He is made by YJ, just like Emily and Victor. What was the other thing I was going to say? I do not remember. But, animation. He has head turning animation, so his head moves side to side, his hand waves, and he has waist turning animation. So without further ado, let's see him. So yeah, really cool. Simple animation, but it works really well for the character. So I don't even know where to start, but let's start with the face, because this is the coolest part of animatronic. So right off the bat, I did mess with the face a little bit. So when I first got him, his face was great. I know some of these have been coming in the box a little bit, not necessarily deformed, but a little misshapen. But mine was actually really good. But to begin with, I just wasn't completely happy with the way the face looked on the Spirits version. As I mentioned earlier in the video, it's definitely better than the Party Cities version, but still wasn't quite to my liking. So what I ended up doing was I took the little, I don't even know what you call it, but this like face mask off of him. It's just held on by Velcro at the bottom. Took that off, and then his mask was literally just stapled in the back. So I removed the staple, pulled the mask off, and he has just a fully blow molded shell underneath him of his face. I don't even think it's Art the Clown's face, but it's just a generic like blow molded creepy face. But it's definitely was made specifically for this item, because it has on that I guess face shell, it has the dot on Art's nose, has like all the little details of Art, so it was definitely made specifically for him, although it doesn't necessarily look completely like him. So it's really just a rough shape form just to give the mask a little bit more form. But what YJ never did was they never glued the mask to this shell underneath it. So really the mask is just floating over it, which gives it a little bit of shape, just so it doesn't completely, come out completely misshapen out of the box when you open it up at home. But it didn't give it enough form so that it looked completely true to the character and gave that sculpt of the mask, all its full glory. So that's what I ended up doing. I just glued the mouth to the plastic shell or form underneath, the eyes and a nose to it, and I think it looks a lot better the way it looks right now. It's not perfect. I mean, Art is a hard character to capture his look, especially when it comes to the face. The actual costume and suit is pretty easy to do since it is just a generic white and black clown costume, but his face is really hard to do with all those wrinkles, the different, you know, like that bone texture in his cheekbones, the wrinkles, and especially his grin and eyes are also very hard to capture. But with this now glued to the actual face underneath it, that face sculpt underneath it, it does look a lot better. So moving on from his face, he just has his generic costume. His shoes are blow molded plastic, which work really nicely, and they're nice and thick, so you don't have to worry about them cracking. Same with the hands, nice thick blow molded plastic, and the paint job is pretty good. This hand as well, and then it actually has a different piece connected to the hand for the horn. This is made out of real metal, which is I was pleasantly surprised to see. It's probably some sort of aluminum or cheap metal, but the fact that it is metal is really cool. But yeah, overall, he's a really nice piece. Looks absolutely awesome, especially in this little corner I have him in right now with the blue light on him. When the lights are turned off, he looks really neat. But yeah, he's a really great piece. Great price. Looks good. Even without that slight modification I made with the face, still looks really great, totally recognizable as Art the Clown, and totally realistic enough to scare someone if you see this thing in the dark with low lighting. But yeah, if you're still has it, I totally recommend picking it up. It's a great piece. The only con I have with this thing is his durability. He's had a lot of issues with his head mech and just some of the other mechanisms like his hand turning mech. The actual motor they use for it and that mechanism is really not meant for such a large design like this. It's probably meant for something way smaller. So the gears within the mechanism are super small, and what tends to be happening, at least with the head turning, because that's where most of the issues lie, is the head turning, is the actual little like shafts that hold the gears in place. The little plastic piece that holds it up inside the mechanism cracks, causing the metal shaft to come out of place, preventing all the gears from lining up, ultimately causing the animation to break. And that's a hard issue to fix because, especially since we're talking about such a small gearbox, it's all you can really do is glue that piece back into place, and it's hard to do on such a small scale. Plus two, who knows how long that glue will hold. So yeah, durability is definitely the main issue I see with this guy, but even if, you know, his animation breaks at the end of the day, he does serve as a really great static piece. And once again, at the price point of $200, I really can't complain. Especially since he looks as good, he still has his audio, and even if one animation does go on him, he does have 3 different animations, so there's still a lot to look at. And before I end the video, let me just turn the lights off real fast, and we'll take a look at this guy in the dark. Down here. Alrighty. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think of Art the Clown in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.